Welcome to Shout Out a Gacky Girls podcast. This is Ashley.
And Elena.
You always pause
I know,
for
I'm
years.
sorry.
Anyway, when we say for years, if you're just joining us for the first time, Shout Out Sioux Falls is a podcast that we did for several years. Elena and I through Next Edge Academy in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. What happened to our podcast, Elena?
We loved it. We had so much fun. And then COVID hit. And I'm bringing this up also because I was just on Tasha's podcast. We've got a friend who does a podcast, and she called us like some of the OG podcasters. I was like, we kind of were. We initially were a run from 2017 to 2020.
Isn't that crazy?
And we ended only because of COVID. And then a whole bunch of crazy life stuff happened that I'm sure we'll get into at some point during this. But here we are. We're back. We're going to try this again. We're now in two different places. Let's talk about that, Ashley. Where are you?
I'm in my living room.
Where is that?
Do we want to say exactly? I'm in South Dakota. I don't know. Okay. I don't want to be stalked. Would you like my full address, like zip code and all?
You mention all the time on your Wednesday lives, which we'll talk to you about as well, that you're from South Dakota. So
I'm from Sioux Falls, South Dakota.
Plus, it's all over our social media. Okay. Everybody's talking about it.
Fine. I'm from Sioux Falls, South Dakota, previously the home of Elena Rogie, but no longer.
And the reason we're not in the same place anymore is because I am now in Florida. I'm in Central Florida. And so now we're getting a multi-coastal, well, not really coastal, perspective on pop culture. So this will not be about local stuff as much anymore, though we might bring up a couple things here and there. We're going international.
This is going to continue to be a pop culture podcast, though, where we talk about events. We talk about what's happening in TV, movies, entertainment, music, and generally with very heavy opinions.
And you may not care about our opinions at all, but here we are giving them. So
if TikTok has taught me anything, it's that people won't like you no matter what. So
no matter what,
don't worry so much about it.
Don't read the comments.
Or read them and ignore them, Elena. That's a whole other thing we could get into.
That's true.
Anyway.
Okay. So what are we talking about first, Ashley? What do you feel like talking about today?
Okay. So let's talk a little bit about what we've been doing so far this summer. So our podcast dissolved because of COVID, but our pop culture love has never, ever wavered. We've continued with our New Kids on the Block shenanigans as well as other things. So you had a fun experience with New Kids without me. Although you've had several, but you went to an event without me. I recently went to an event without you or our sister Sam. So let's talk about that a little bit.
Yeah. So in March, I got to go to Houston, Texas, to the Houston Rodeo. If people have never been, and I'll have to insert later because this is pre-recorded, just an FYI. Although we'll have to ask maybe later, do people want this pre-recorded or do they want it live?
Like we used to. So we used to do this live in studio, and then it would go out to the interwebs.
Yeah.
And you could access the video on Facebook. We're probably going to add the videos now to Instagram so that you can access them either way. And then on YouTube. So we'll continue to do that.
We got to talk about this TikTok too. We should do some TikTok. It's easy. I'll do it.
I have 5 Instagrams and 3 TikToks, and I'm busy. Okay.
Too many things.
Anyway. So you went to Houston.
Went to Houston, Texas, and got to see New Kids at the Houston Rodeo, which was people, if you're not a rodeo fan, it's the biggest rodeo in the world. It's huge. It was so crazy. There was all these weird mutton busting. Do you know what a mutton bust is?
I do now.
Yes. So little kids climb on top of a sheep and hold on for dear life. And then they get bucked off and have to curl into a ball so the sheep doesn't trample them. And then they win.
Well,
that's probably symptomatic. I've simplified
another podcast you could listen to if you'd like to learn more about mutton busting.
Mutton busting. This is
probably
not
it.
Busting podcast. It was so cool though. They had a star-shaped stage, which all of the performers at the Houston Rodeo do. So because they use the same stage for everybody, they can do something extravagant and crazy. And so there's points that went up and down and went down all the way down so they could run out into the field. It was amazing. Check out our social media because I know I posted a whole bunch of stuff back when we did it, but that was my fun New Kids on the Block thing this summer. So, and that's
at Gacky Girls. At Gacky Girls on Instagram is where you have a lot of that posted, correct?
Yep. And then also on my TikTok, which is at Elena Rogie. And then you just got back a month ago from
So I was at New Kids on the Block's first convention, BlockCon 2022, soon to, or 2023. What year is it? I don't even know. Anyway, and you can listen to my weekly Instagram live that I do with my friend Melanie on at Yacky Girls, where we go through all the different things that happened at BlockCon. But it was an amazing experience. But the thing I want to touch on has nothing to do with BlockCon about that weekend. Could we talk real quick about the talk of the town of the summer, the town being the world? Scandival. Can we talk about that for 2 seconds?
I was like, where are we going with this? What is
it was a good lead in, right? Okay, so I went to St. Charles, Illinois, and saw Tom Sandoval and the Most Extras.
And if you don't know who Tom Sandoval is, he is one of the many cast of characters. And I did not know who this was beforehand because I do not watch Bravo. I do sometimes, not this. He is on Vanderpump Rules. He's one of the, stars original, of that. One of the
10
OGs.
Years, 10 seasons running.
Yes. And he most recently has been in the news. And this is the only reason I know who this man is. And now I know way too much because I've fallen into a YouTube, TikTok rabbit hole. Yeah. But he cheated on his girlfriend of 10 years with another cast member who happened to be her best friend. And now he's touring the country with his band.
Yes. And he's also known on the show as not being a very good musician. It was a talk of the season, the beginning of the season before it broke that he was having an affair with Raquel. Again, we could get into this more or not.
Yeah.
But it came out earlier in the season that one of the things that was holding him back from opening up his new bar, Schwartz and Sandy's in Los Angeles, was because he was on the road with his band that he pays. They're not a band who all makes money off the shows. He pays his band to practice and perform.
Wow, really?
Maybe there's some back end stuff there too, but it's the whole thing is that to get these people to play music with him has to pay them. And it's evident. They are extremely good musicians. They are very good musicians. And nothing against Tom. I mean, as a performer, he's a great performer.
Okay.
He's very enigmatic, very captivating.
I might go just for his abs. I've seen pictures.
Oh, I mean, I get it, Rachel. She says she couldn't stop herself. And I guess maybe I couldn't either. But no, I could because I would Team Ariana. But anyway, point is, if you have an opportunity to go to anything like this, I know a lot of people were giving me heat on social media because they were like, how could you support him? And I'm like, well, I'm kind of also supporting his band, but also if you're that close to pop culture and Scandival was everywhere, how do you not, if you're a pop culture junkie, how do you not go? So I had to go and I did. And I had fun. What?
I just realized I made cool banners. So this was supposed to be going at the bottom of the screen.
Okay. So for those listening, not watching, it says, where have we been?
I made banners. Okay. I'm learning how to use this program.
Yes. Guys. This will just generally improve week over week. So stay tuned for more. Anyway, so that was one of the highlights of that weekend. It kind of kicked off a really fun weekend. I also got an opportunity with Melanie to do a little one-on-one with Donnie that is also on our Instagram.
And if you are watching this and you're not sure at all what we're talking about, because this is pop culture and not just New Kids, Donnie Wahlberg of New Kids on the Block, Blue Bloods fame, many, many other things. Yeah. Ashley got to interview him one-on-one, well, two-on-one, because with her friend Melanie.
To Melanie. Yep, Melanie was a big reason that got to happen. She
makes things happen.
She's a go-getter, man. I love her. Yeah. So anyway, so that was that. We also have had a lot going on. You recently finally saw The Little Mermaid.
Oh, I did. So let's dig into this just really quick. And again, this is one I do not have graphics for, so that's fine.
Okay. We didn't plan on talking about this, so.
So I loved it. I was very hesitant going in because as I've made it widely known. Wildly known. I disliked almost every Disney live action movie for various reasons. What's Beauty and the Beast? Love Emma Watson. I think she's fantastic. I think she's lovely. She's not a singer. She did not sing well. I will fight you on this. She's not a good singer. My daughter greatly disagrees.
Really?
Wrong. She's wrong. And she knows it. Why am I holding a pen? So I was very hesitant going into this one, just being like, what are they going to do? And then I was, one of my big questions was how Aquafina would be as Scuttle, because Scuttle is like one of my favorite characters from the original. And hands down, that was my favorite character.
Yeah, I agree. I think she did an excellent job. I think that, there were things that were, I would say, drastically different, but also the same. So like Ariel's costume was very different in the movie, but it made sense for a live action and being almost like a period piece. And as someone who has studied, as in I took one college class in the history of fiction.
All your studies.
Yes, as a scholar of historical fashion choices, I thought that it was pretty darn perfect. I have one issue with that movie, and it has to do with, it is, okay, if you have not seen the movie yet, skip forward 30 seconds to a minute, okay? I don't want to ruin anything for you.
Depending on how long-winded you are.
I'll be very, very quick, okay? So 3, 2, 1, I'm going to spoil something. The part of our childhood that stuck with me so much about that movie that, like, in my head, I wanted to be someday, like, really, truly was like, I don't care about being a mermaid. I care about exiting the water with my fresh human legs in the blue sparkly dress.
Yeah.
That's what I cared about. That's what I dreamed of. And so when that didn't happen, the whole movie, I was riding this wave of like nostalgia and, oh my God, every decision they made was perfect. It's so good. It's so good. And then all of a sudden I was like, pardon me? She's just on land now?
Yeah.
She's just on land? So that's my only thing.
Although I will say, like in the original, that dress was very 1980s or 90s.
I don't care.
And it didn't match the rest of the film. But they could have done like water. It could have looked like she was covered in water that turned into a dress. There was so many like special effects they could have used.
If Kim Kardashian could look like she was in a wet dress at the Met Gala 2 years ago, Ariel could have been in a blue wet dress.
Yeah. Yep. I agree with that. Yep. I get that.
Good.
So if you've seen Little Mermaid, let us know what I want your favorite part and the part you didn't like. All right.
But overall, as a live action remake, stellar.
Really good. Really good.
Stellar.
And the music was great. The adjustments were great. Like it was 10 out of 10 for me. So
well, and we can't talk yet about another big pop culture moment that's happening right now because you haven't seen it, but maybe you'll see it in the next week and then we can regroup, which is Spider-Man Enter the Spider-Verse. Is that what it's called? Into the Spider-Verse.
No,
that's a huge thing going on right now in pop culture, and it is, everyone out there, if you have not seen it, even if you're not a Spider-Man fan, I think you'd like this movie. It's very good.
My daughters are obsessed, especially because of COVID. Like it came out in 2019, but they really watched it to like no end. If we had a VHS,
you're talking Spider-Man
Into the Spider-Verse.
Into the Spider-Verse. I'm talking Spider-Man Enter the Spider-Verse. Is that what it's called?
Out of the Spider-Verse?
Oh my God, I'm looking. This is Google. Terrible.
What did we do before cell phones?
I don't know.
First off, podcasts would have been wildly inaccurate. We haven't seen it yet because we've got to all go together. Long story short,
Into the Spider-Verse 2018 became very popular because it was on Netflix during the pandemic. But it was very popular because it was an amazing movie. And then now is Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Absolutely incredible movie, not just superhero movie. We'll talk about that next time. Tune in next week.
So all summer, people have been going to the tour of the tours, right? Like we were just talking about New Kids on the Block stuff, but for Swifties, hands down, this is
Eras Tour.
The Eras Tour for non-Swifties, for everybody. So I'm going to put up, I stole this photo from my friend Stephanie, who went to US Bank Stadium. So the vast scope of this thing is insane. Her tour is not just a tour, it's a stadium tour. So she's going to the biggest places. How many people does it seat there, Ashley?
Oh, well, I'm not prepared to answer that. Why would I know that off the top of my head? I'm going to look it up.
Okay, well, it's a small village. It's a large village. It's a very large village. Packed to the brim. That was in Minneapolis, Minnesota this last week. She did 2 shows there. I know she started in Tampa, and she's kind of working her way around. And I've not heard from a single person that they did not like this show or that there was anything wrong with it.
US Bank Stadium can hold up to 73,000 people.
73,000 people. And that's probably during a football game. And there's
no, it's 60. It's 73 at concerts.
God, that's crazy.
Yeah. So the cool thing I think about the Swift apocalypse, whatever we want to call it, is that it's impacting fashion right now. It's
Yeah.
impacting what people are listening to. It's all over TikTok. Every city that she goes to,
Yeah.
the NFL football team, will do a little, what's your favorite Taylor Swift song? And then as the players are leaving practice, they're answering. And this has been happening almost
Yeah.
every
Yeah. Yeah.
stadium. So it's like a collab with the stadium. So it's very immersive, to the point where Minneapolis renamed itself officially last weekend to Swiftiapolis.
Are you kidding? That's what you texted me and said you want to talk about Swiftiapolis, and I was like, oh, sure. I thought that's just I thought you made that up.
Now, I don't know if it was the mayor or the governor or if anyone actually officially did it, but it was all over social media. Everyone was saying Swiftiapolis.
Swiftiapolis.
Yeah.
If anybody knows if they did this for other cities, let us know, because I want to know. Yeah, everybody had a great time. It stormed the last night, but then US Bank Stadium has a cover, so that was fine. But I had friends that were waiting for their children to come out on, I think, Saturday night, and they were just drenched. And I feel this is just like a weird offside. I feel so bad for the stadium staff at these things, because it's like Harry Styles. There's glitter, there's feathers, there's like so many things, and add water to that. I can't imagine how they cleaned up from night 1 to get ready for night 2.
Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah.
But I think hopefully people were being respectful in that they weren't just leaving stuff to leave stuff. Like, I've been to concerts before where people have had, those little noisemaker things, and they just like drop them on the floor and leave at the end. And it's like, that's so disrespectful. Take your crap with you. Go throw it away, you garbage human. So, well, I think it's rude. It's like people who don't put their carts back in at the grocery store. Like, get over yourself.
Don't even start me on that.
Get over yourself.
I'm trying to. Oh, okay. Sorry, I interrupted.
No, but I think it'll be interesting to see where this goes, because I think Harry Styles concerts kind of started this whole like getting people are getting dressed up again for concerts. They're getting on theme for concerts, and I think it's really, really fun.
So if people haven't had time or money, because these things are expensive, to go to conventions and concerts and whatever, they're probably sitting at home watching shows, right? Let's talk about some shows to watch, okay? And your doorbell just rang. I hope it's FedEx.
Ooh, it's UPS.
Did you get something good? Go check it.
Okay, you keep going. I'm going to grab something.
Okay. So I put up, this is Stars on Mars. And if you don't know what Stars on Mars is, you should. I do not watch a lot of reality television, and it is fantastic. Ashley has 2 pit bulls, by the way, who are the sweetest things on the planet. Ignore those barks. They are completely harmless. Okay, we're hiding all of this because Ashley obviously is something she's going to need to talk about, because I heard some gasping.
Did you know this was happening?
What is it?
It's a package from you.
Oh, no way.
It's literally a package from you, and I just happen to have a scissors with me, so I'm going to open it.
Why do you have a scissors next to you?
Don't ask.
Okay. What do I have next to me? That's weird. I have my 50th anniversary. I'm a Disney adult, guys. I'm so sorry. I'm not though. I'm not sorry.
Oh, crap. Oh,
50th anniversary.
My computer's dying too, so
this is
I'm having a lot of issues.
Are fine.
Oh my god.
Fine.
Okay,
we're absolutely
fine. It's just my clothes.
It's not just clothes.
Did you wash these?
No. Yeah, I did.
They smell stinky.
They probably smell stinky because of all the shells that are in there.
Okay, so I've recently visited Allana in Florida. Obviously left some clothes there, and then also picked up some shelves.
Seashells by the seashore.
Seashells at the seashore. And Elena packaged them up and sent them to me. So thanks for the shells.
You're welcome.
Ooh, and some sand.
Sand. Okay, so back to Stars on Mars. So this has some of the strangest people on it. We've got Christopher Michael Ploss from Superbad, McLovin. We've got the youngest of Bruce Willis and Demi Moore's daughters, Tallulah. We've got somebody from Real Housewives of Atlanta. We've got Ariel Winter from Modern Family. And over here we've got, you can't see. I wonder if I can eventually do that. I'm circling Tom Sandoval because we were talking about Vanderpump Rules. Tom Sandoval of Vanderpump Rules. One of the funniest moments of the first episode, and it's not a teaser or a spoiler because it's all over their social media. But one of the very first things that happens is Ariel Winter from Modern Family. Everybody's coming in, and the very last person to come in is Lance Armstrong,
the cyclist.
And she gets excited, and she says, "Oh my God, you guys, there's an actual astronaut." And everybody's so like, funny. What are you talking about? And then like a day later, she realizes she thought Lance Armstrong was the same as
Louis Armstrong, the trumpet guy.
No. Well, that's the funny thing is later on, one of the other guys calls him Louis. And then the rest of the time, nobody calls him Lance. He goes by Lance, Lance.
Yeah. By the way, the girl from Real Housewives of Atlanta is Portia.
Yes. And you know what I like about her? And this is just an aside. She, the very second day, no makeup, no lashes, bare bones. Like she's
a real one.
She was there to play. She wasn't there to look good. She wasn't there to, be fancy. And then Ronda Rousey is also on it. And at one point she wrestles a football player that shall be
Marshawn Lynch. What is your how do you not know the names of the I don't even watch the show.
I don't know who that is. I don't watch the sports ball, as Kelly Clarkson calls it.
You've left out one key character who knows everything about Mars because he's been on the Starship Enterprise, not Enterprise, on the
is the Enterprise member.
Oh.
He is their captain from the ground. And everybody buys in 100% to the fact that they are on Mars and their captain is Captain Kirk, original.
Captain Kirk.
What's his name? This is a pop culture.
It is Captain Kirk. Why are you?
What's his real name?
William Shatner? Oh boy.
So they start calling him Shat Daddy and all these different things. But everybody there, they don't refer to it as like this experiment or this show. They're always like this mission on Mars. And they're all like, well, we can't do that.
I have to watch this.
Because we're on Mars.
I have to watch this now.
It's so good. Okay. So
I've been recently obsessed with a show that I forgot to tell you about, but we could still get into this. The Curious Case of something Grace.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh my God, I'm looking it up. The Curious Case of Natalia Grace, who is supposedly, I thought, the story behind or how they came up with the Orphan movie.
Oh.
But this happened in like 2017 on. So I'm like, I don't understand. The timelines don't add up. But it's basically a family.
A girl shows up and says, I'm your daughter.
So a family adopts a girl.
Okay.
They say she's from the Ukraine. They say she's 6 years old, but then things start to not add up. She's got body hair. She seems to have a backstory that doesn't line up. The point is that by episode 3, you're like, what a little monster this person was. And then you hit episode 4 and everything changes. And I don't know how it's going to end, but I'm telling you, it's worth the watch.
Okay.
Every episode is good, but you think you know what's going on, and then you completely realize you have no idea. It's on Netflix.
On Netflix, okay. And then Stars on Mars airs on Fox. I don't know what days. I'll put it here. And then you can see it on Hulu the very next day. So,
or if you have Hulu Live,
or you
can see it live.
Money.
I don't pay for Spotify though, so I'm
okay.
Pick and choose.
I don't pay for Spotify either. My husband does though. Do you know he was paying for his separate Amazon? He had Amazon Prime, and I was like, I have Amazon Prime.
We did that with Disney Plus.
Oh, anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want to talk about ankle bracelets.
Oh, that just came up on the screen, and I was like, "What are we talking?" Okay, I'm the one who said I wanted to talk about this. Okay,
this is just going to get better and better, guys. Because
so I was on TikTok, and I saw there's a comedian who is on TikTok, and I cannot think of her name right now. But she does Hannah something.
Hannah Berner.
She does like one-on-one interviews, like on the street interviews.
Yeah.
And she did an interview recently with Jennifer Lawrence where she asked her like, what is the look of the summer? And Jennifer Lawrence's response was ankle bracelets. and I am in.
I had a picture and I just realized it didn't load. So let's try loading it here. But I love this idea. I feel like if we're going to get into 90s fashion and 90s culture and all the things that people are like thinking are, here we go. All the things that people think were cool and are bringing back, but they're not bringing back the right stuff.
You got the right stuff.
Ankle bracelets is what we need to bring back 100% because
that one is ugly.
Okay, well, I pulled the first one I could find off of Amazon.
I'm talking a simple, sleek, little silver ankle bracelet or little
rose gold.
Ooh, or if you're going to the beach, get like one of those like braided ones, you know?
Yeah. I've started wearing braided bracelets. I'm not wearing one right now, but
I also am calling for if we're gonna have an ankle bracelet, we are fully accessorizing the feet. We need toe rings back.
Yes. Yeah. What? Everybody's wearing stacked rings. Where are the toe rings?
Stacked toe rings.
You've got 10 phalanges, people.
Well, not everyone does, Elena. Let's not.
Most people have 10 phalanges.
Okay, that's now you're also getting into a little bit of the like, you're not normal if you don't. Whatever number of phalanges you have, you should accessorize them.
We're not canceling anybody for things.
I'm not canceling anyone. I'm just saying, let's not assume we all should have 10.
I guess. All right.
Can I help you? I can't hear you.
Ashley's got
I'm doing my podcast.
A 15-year-old child has infiltrated. So far at Ashley's house, we've had the mailman, dogs.
What do you think I'm doing here with a podcasting microphone in my living room?
We got to figure this out, lady. This is so unprofessional.
I know.
So Ryan Seacrest was just announced as the new host of Wheel of Fortune. Thoughts or prayers?
I think the old people are pissed.
Why?
Again, who am I? Old people. Now I'm ageism. I'm just saying, because he's a millennial pop culture icon.
Yeah.
For our generation. And if that's the goal of CBS is to like make it more something, we're not going to sit around at 5:00 and watch Wheel of Fortune, guys. I'm sorry. I don't think it's going to happen. So
okay. Do you think he left Kelly and Ryan knowing he was taking this over?
100%.
Yeah.
100%. He didn't want to share his name with nobody. Get Kelly's name off there. Now he's the host of Wheel of Fortune, iconic Wheel of Fortune.
But okay,
but
hold on. Before
are they replacing Vanna
White? We don't know.
Because I don't think those two work together. I think they need to replace with Julianne Hough. I hate her. I shouldn't have said that. I don't hate her.
Yeah, not hate. I
find her hard to deal with.
Okay.
Emotionally,
I have a very hard time with her. I don't know. I don't know who I would pick, but for a brief second, I thought they were saying he was hosting Jeopardy.
No.
And then I was like, but what about Maya Bialik? She should host it. Anyway, yes. That's the whole thing.
Who would you have host Wheel of Fortune?
Captain Kirk.
The Shatman.
The Shatman. He's obviously good at hosting.
I wanted Ty Burrell from Modern Family.
He would be great.
I know. What is he doing?
Somebody pitch that. Get rid of Ryan. I know you just announced it. Get rid of Ryan Seacrest.
Ty Burrell. Hashtag Ty Burrell for Wheel of Fortune.
Ty Burrell these days. That guy's
I don't know. I just love him so much.
I want a show where Ty Burrell plays brothers with Schmidt from New Girl, where they play like high-powered attorneys who just are really bad at their job,
or like who hate each other and have to go against each other in court, and they keep bringing up childhood trauma.
Yeah, like that would be like a movie. That's a movie. You can't do a whole series of that. Maybe you could. I don't know. All right. Well, we got to wrap this up. It's been so fun. Any last words, comments, or prayers?
No, but if you made it to the end of this episode, join us again next week. We're trying to nail down. We're figuring out exactly what the frequency of this is going to be. Weekly obviously makes sense with pop culture moving as fast as a locomotive. But where you'll find us and everything like that. So make sure and subscribe wherever you're seeing this at. If you're following us up on our Facebook page, make sure and share with your friends, invite them to watch. YouTube, obviously we've got a following there too, so this will be up on YouTube, but yeah, we just appreciate everyone taking the time to watch.
I'm going to put in here. Look at this.
Or listen. What?
I'm making a little. Here we go. That's where you can find us. I'm going to work on a TikTok, but at the moment it doesn't exist. If you go and look for this, it's not there. But
it is on YouTube.
On YouTube and on Instagram. And those two are very important. So once we post this, we want to hear what day and time should we air this? Should it be live? Or is this fun? Do we like this? I don't know.
No, we don't want to. I don't want to know. I don't want to know if people like it or not. We like it. No.
Do they want it live? I don't care if they like it. We're doing this either way. Nobody knows who we are. Live, or some of you can stream all the time, although the lives you can stream all the time as well, but fun to join live because then we can like talk to people. Anybody you want for a guest. If you know somebody cool and famous.
If you want to be a guest. if you would like to be a guest on our podcast. If you got something cool
to talk about, let's hit us up. And we're just going to go from here. We're going to see what happens and have some fun and bring it back to the Gacky Girls Shout Out Podcast. So
shout out a Gacky Girls podcast.
Yes, I'm going to fix the graphic.
No, I'm going to do it because we need cohesivity. So I need the podcast image needs to match, the YouTube banner needs to match.
Well, for anyone wondering, I just threw that together in Canva 2 minutes before we started. So don't get I wanted to match my microphone.
Don't get too attached.
Don't get too attached.
All right.
Get attached to us though, please.
Emotionally, not physically, please.
I don't know. Sometimes physically is fine. No, I'm kidding.
All right.
Anyway, all right.
With that,
good to see everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. And until next time, adieu.
Do we need a sign off?
Sayonara, bitches.
Oh my God. All right. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.